Thank you. Practice is over. Coaches and alternates, please leave the ice. Please deliver your clockwise last stone draw. You have 1 minute.
How'd you beat us? You have some outs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mad skills, man. Mad skills.
Please deliver your counterclockwise last stone draw. You have 1 minute.
We're closing in on playoff time here in Eau Claire, Wisconsin at the Eau Claire Curling Club, site of the 2024 U21 USA Curling Men's and Women's National Championships. 8 men's teams and 8 women's teams competing for the right to represent the United States at the Junior Men's World Championships next season and Junior Women's World Bs. Here you see the standings going into this final round-robin game for the women. Giroux and Johnson tied at the top at 6-0. Pekowitz at 4-2. Schapman 3-3. Berg and View 2-4. Scheel 1-5 and Berg 0-6. The matchups for this final draw on sheet A, Claire View and Julia Pekowitz. On sheet B, for the number 1 seed, Ali Giroux taking on Allery Johnson. Sheet C, Nia Berg will play Gracia Berg. And on sheet D, our feature matchup, Ava Schapman taking on Miranda Scheel. Here you see the team, Schapman with that 3-3 record, taking on Scheel, got their first win yesterday to get to 1-5. Here's a look at Team Schapman with skip Ava Schapman, third Jessica Margan, second Claire Schapman, lead Frances Schapman, alternate Lila Farwell, and coached by both Ross Littman and Aiden Oldenburg. For Team Scheel, skip Miranda Scheel, third Bella Hagenbaugh, second Riley Kraft, lead May Hagenbaugh, and they are coached by Connor Kaufman. I believe Bella will be skipping once again today. Miranda Scheel playing third. Tyler George joined by former junior national champion and world silver medalist Andrew Stapera. Andrew, first time in the booth with me, not your first time doing it, period, but really glad to have you here, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Excited to watch some great curling today and watch these two teams put on a show.
Yeah, the playoff seeding is all but set on the women's side. That game between the undefeated teams at 6-0. The winner will be the 1 seed, the loser the 2. And for the 3-4 game, we know that Schapman is already locked into this 4 seed, regardless of the finish. So this game solely for keeping momentum going into the playoffs. But first time that we've seen Team Schapman for this feature game. There you see both coaches in the building, Ross Littman and Aiden Oldenburg behind the sheet. Team Schapman throwing the red stones, having hammer.
I had a 16-3. That's okay, Francis. That's
Francis
fine. Don't worry
Schapman.
about it.
First stone, a little adrenaline going.
On this side of the camera, it's fine.
Ends up going through. And a guard started things off for Team Scheel with May Hagenbaugh lobbing down lead stones. Andrew, doesn't seem that long ago we were watching you guys in the World Championships for juniors. It's probably longer than I think, but I remember watching with, I think Mike Moore was there with us. We were out at a local watering hole cheering loudly for one of your games. We actually got removed from the facility for yelling, but yeah, it's, I don't know, how long has it been since you were playing in that Worlds?
Oh, it would have been
This way.
5 years ago in 2019. I remember, I think we were playing Canada in one of the round-robin games and won in an extra end. And
I think that was the game, yeah.
Got sent a video of you guys cheering us on and celebrating when the measure went our way. So
if there's any reason to get booted out of a building, that's a good one. But the place we were at, we didn't think that cheering would be a problem, as it was a local watering hole. But good memories from that, especially beating Canada. That's never a bad thing.
we appreciated it at the time. So
we didn't apologize, I can tell you that.
we shouldn't have to.
No, not when USA beats Canada, not when your guys win. So 2 guards up for Scheel. Nice come-around draw there from Frances Schapman.
Nice to see both of these teams kind of go after it in the first end. Sometimes in juniors you'll see a lot of hits early and center guard and play on.
Yeah, we got to 3 rocks in play after 4. All 4 were draws, trying to set things up to put some rocks in play. Riley Kraft trying to hit through that hole, but does wreck the guard. Now turns into 2 corners, so that one actually goes all the way into the house. So green light for Schapman. Try to score a few points. And Andrew, you've been in a million of these situations in round robin play where you played extremely meaningful games to try to get into the playoffs, and some games where your seed is already locked in or your playoff spot's already locked in. So talk about the mindset you're trying to keep as you go in, especially a game like this where you really don't have anything to gain.
Yeah, sometimes it's harder to get up for these kind of games and play your best knowing that the result doesn't really have a huge impact on your final standing and the games later today, but just trying to stay focused and keep that good momentum going, because in a couple hours later tonight you're going to have to show up and put your best game forward against another talented team. So yeah, just trying to stay motivated and focused. Obviously you have a lot more big games coming up, so keeping your eye on the prize, so to speak.
And we saw Team Gensel on the men's side in the same situation last night where their spot was already locked in and had a pretty rough game against Team Rose, but got to try to wipe that one away, as it has no bearing on the playoff round except for on the momentum side of things. So here's Kraft for second in the first end, playing the open hit. Makes no mistake there.
I think those games are kind of like you can take it either way you want, where it's, oh, we win, we got the momentum going, or you don't put your best together in the round robin game that isn't as meaningful as other games, and you can kind of say, oh well, that didn't matter too much. Got the next one.
So Claire Schapman, her second here in this first end. Always nice for the broadcasters when 3 of the players have the same last name. If you can pronounce it right the first time, then you're going to get at least 3 of them right. This one hangs a little bit and ends up going by.
Just up.
I believe that was Morgan actually throwing there, so maybe a lineup switch from what we have for the roster, if I saw that last name correct on the back. We do see a lot of shuffling of lineups in the junior championships, so we got to stay on our toes here. There's Miranda Scheel, skip of the 4th place finishers from this year's women's national championships, and skip of our junior national team that went to the Worlds. I'm sure Miranda would be the first to say that weren't pleased with the result of the week, but trying to finish strong, go out with a win. Did get one yesterday as well.
Do you want to chase it or do you want to peel? All right. Just throw control, and if you get the guard, that's okay.
Good representation supporting this Duluth team here. Sam Perella of Sammy's Pizza fame and many curling championships of his own is in the building. Maybe to heckle Coach Ross as well, league teammates.
Straight.
This out-turn hit attempt here from
Just a little out, that's okay.
Claire Schapman. Ends up wrecking the corner guard.
Is it in?
Creates a nice opportunity for Team Scheel to get another rock under the center guard, put some more pressure on Team Schapman in this first end.
Yeah, good chance to at the least get a force with the way the rocks are set up, maybe a steal as well. In-turn draw, Miranda Scheel. Andrew consistently throughout the week, both on sheet A and sheet D, and this is nothing surprising for club ice or even arena ice. We've seen more curl going into the wall and a little straighter coming off the wall and a little faster also on the wall side. So should get a little more curl on this turn that Miranda played than the other. It was well called there to get that rock to where it did.
I think you can either corner freeze this or get back to this or like here. I think we have to draw now.
That'll be something, having each team I believe has played on this sheet before, so
Just like top 8.
hopefully we'll have an idea on playing their 7th round robin game.
Yeah, and hopefully the coaches have discussed that with them as well. We know Connor, we know Ross and Aiden. We expect nothing less from them.
Yep. Hard, girls. Top 12? No, right to here.
Your father, Bill Stapera, in the house as well today, Andrew, and
Yeah, keep going.
I would expect he would remind them of that if they didn't too.
Well, curl.
Yeah, he.
Hard curl.
If there's anyone who has too much to say rather than too little to say, he's one of those people.
But that's just good coaching. Always be communicating. Always be talking. Nice freeze there from third Claire Schapman. That's a good way to get out of an end and maybe still set up a multiple point score. So now paying attention here. Looks like Morgan is going into the house. So playing second and vicing. I'm telling myself as much as you, too, just so we remember for later in the game. So here is Bella Hagenbaugh skipping for Team Scheel. Bella's represented the United States already in her young curling career, along with sister May.
Close curl then. Close curl. Close curl. Lots of room. Gotta curl. Curl. Gotta curl.
I think she does have some
Hard curl.
experience throwing the last rock. I think she played with my sister in Yog Playdowns and got to do that there, and they had a pretty successful week, so not her first time at this role.
That freeze just bounces off a little bit, so maybe a chance for Schapman to get 2 or 3.
I think this is fine as long as we don't leave a double. Well, yeah. I don't want to like nose it, but I think if we do this or do this, it's fine. I'll just control it. I think let's try to roll it this way, but if we get that way, that's fine. I think there's fine.
I like the thought of rolling in towards the red and putting the pressure on a freeze. Got to be careful with playing the either or, but not really playing for one or the other. Saying it's fine to do either, but really play for one or the other.
Still enough to be second shot.
I think it's
But if we roll it, Francis,
kind of a tricky shot because there's a lot of spots you could roll to that leave Team Scheel an opportunity to make a double and get out at the end. So, like you said, really committing to a shot and getting the roll to the right spot to prevent that chance is important.
Ava Schapman, her first of this final round robin game.
Yep. Yes!
Playing the in-turn hit and roll.
Hard!
Sweeper's trying to hold it. That's crossing center.
Gotta go! Hard!
It looks pretty good.
Good.
That's really well done. Good spot. Now you put the pressure on your opponent to make that draw against the 3. And with the score the way it is, Andrew, this point in the game, too, I mean, never a bad thing to pressure your opponent in the first end to draw against points when you have hammer.
Yeah, as a skip, I know you've had the 9-minute practice, but usually in the first end, the freeze against a potential 3 would not be your first choice of shots.
It's a good job by Team Schapman to set up this situation after chasing for most of the end. Now Bella Hagenbaugh looking to lock one on. Does have a little margin for error with the Reds locked close to each other, so you can have a little extra weight as long as you're on the nose of the stone. Sweeper's going immediately on this one. This is the side where we see a little more curl. Really needs to go for weight and line. Doesn't look like it's going to get there. So all of a sudden, Schapman with a draw for 3. That goes back to that great freeze by third Claire Schapman to set this up.
Just like my LSD, which I'll do better than that.
2 great shots, kind of really flipped the end almost out of nowhere to get this chance.
All right, touching 4. I'll give it to you guys. We're 1 for sure. I don't know, it might go to a measure. We'll see. Yeah. But full 4
The
here.
overheads can be tricky, but it looks pretty definitive that red is 2 right now.
I'll shoot top 8.
So Schapman, her final stone of this first end. Looking to draw for very likely 3. Needs to just about touch 4 foot.
Soft release.
Heard soft release, the call out of hand. Rock's really not turning over yet though, so
Take a look.
should
full
be
4.
okay.
Take a look.
Take a look.
Just full 4. Gotta make sure we're here.
Touching 4.
Line looks
touching
good.
4.
Weight
Get
looks
touching
good.
4.
No mistake made there by Schapman. That does look to be a 3. They're going to take a look to make sure. 2 for certain.
Jesse, if we need to measure, do a measure.
Okay, for sure 2, right? Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna move these.
Well, I hope they measure this one, Andrew, because this is an easy call for the booth, I think.
I was thinking red. I do enjoy listening to you try to figure out which is closer when I watch the stream.
They did call it 3, so no gimme for us
Yeah.
on that one. So 3 in the first for Schapman. They lead 3-0 after 1.
Twin Cities Orthopedics is ready to go with more doctors, specialty services, and convenient urgent care locations. Ready, set, TCO.
Three great makes with the last 3 for Team Schapman. Turns into a 3-point end. They lead 3-0 after 1 end over Miranda Scheel. Once again, Tyler George here with junior national champion, world silver medalist, silver men's national medalist, Andrew Stapera. Got a lot of medals we could name off. I might just keep rattling more off. Usually people don't have a problem with that.
I didn't like the silver, the men's silver
I
quite as
understand
much,
that part,
but,
yeah.
you know.
I don't know where some of my silvers are, I can tell you that. But far enough down the road, you become proud of those things, too.
Yeah.
I understand completely. But the national championship for juniors, that's a gold. Can't take that one away.
No.
And Andrew, your sister competing, too.
Just a touch more.
I know what it's like watching a sibling. It's 1,000 times harder than playing. So the nerves in the stands, maybe a little white knuckle for you and your father this week?
Yeah, it's definitely different than playing. Like it's nice to be on the ice. You feel like you have some sort of control, but
Right.
off the ice. And I've also got, my mom's here this weekend too,
Yep.
and she's probably more nervous than I am. So trying to distract her and
Does she do a lot of pacing like my mother did when I played?
yeah, she told the story that to me that when we were in the junior final in Korea, that I don't think she even could watch. She was pacing the concourse inside.
That
and-
sounds very familiar to
Yeah.
me. That sounds like my mother, too. There it is, lead May Hagenbaugh for Team Scheel. Very solid player, throws the rock really clean, very consistent, repeatable delivery. Going to a second corner here. Sweeper's trying to carry it over the hog line. Does not quite get there. I've only practiced, I think, 3 times this season, Andrew, just to get ready for the cash spiel when I played with Team Wendling. I saw all the Schapman girls there every time I was there. So just taking it in a very small sample size.
Where
And
we at?
every time I was in the club, they were there practicing. So they're a very hard-working team, obviously. We're proud of them out of our club.
Line's okay right now. It's only ever
I remember those days when we were rink rats, and all we wanted to do was throw a million rocks a day. The practices, as you get older, are a little more focused. But they would just throw and throw and throw. And yeah, those days seem like quite a while ago, too, for us.
That's fine.
Yeah, I feel like they shouldn't feel like they're that far away. I don't know if my body can take it anymore, but yeah, it's always good. Like, you'd be amazed how much a little practice, how much further it can take you so quickly, too. So the fact that these 3 girls are out there, it's great.
Yep, along with teammate Jessica Morgan, a great run this week. Saw how thrilled they were last night when they clinched their playoff spots. Maybe some tears in the eyes and everything. So, you know, those steps that you take as a young player that matters so much. Getting into the playoffs at a national championship, not just being here. You never want to say it's house money for your team, but I think they're awfully thrilled with where they're at already. We'll see how far they can take it.
Yeah, I think they're a fairly young team, the 3 sisters, and so to make the playoffs, you kind of always remember the first time you get your first medal, your first national medal, and your first playoff appearance. So to do that early on, it's good for things to come.
Jessica Morgan playing the intern hit. Does avoid the backing. Good sweep there.
All right, good throw.
I know Coach Ross Littman very proud of them as well. I mentioned on earlier streams that Ross taught me my curling delivery. So he's put a lot of time into young players. He didn't let me put a rock in my hand until I could slide without one. So I can't even count how many times before I was allowed to even throw a rock. But by that point, it's like, oh, this is easy when you got the rock in your hand. My God. Well, that's the right way to do it if you have the time and the patience. And I can tell you, I had a lot of days I didn't feel very patient doing that. But I thank Ross immensely for taking the time to do that with me, and my father for being involved in that as well. Did you have a mentor for your delivery, Andrew, growing up, or was it just kind of piecing it together with other different instructors?
Yeah, I mean, most of it was my dad. Being able to go to the club, kind of seeing him play competitively and kind of following in his footsteps a little bit. Martin Sather was also at the Yardstick Club. He is a national champion with my dad in his own right, so he would help out sometimes. But yeah, mostly those two growing up, spending time at the club while they practice, kind of joining in.
You want the roll? I think we have to throw the out turn.
I don't mind if you nose it.
Okay.
Control. Line, yes.
Here is Claire Schapman throwing the intern through the hole. Trying to get it by the guard again.
Yes, keep going. You gotta keep going.
Does make the hit.
Good throw.
Bites in the outside 12. We've seen these live striking bands all week too, Andrew. The club members said, Mike Poplinski told us when he was in the booth here, that the rocks are only a year old. So between the speed of the ice and the striking bands themselves, it feels like watching the Briar or the Scotties or something. These hack waders are just flying out of the sheet, hitting half of a rock. So that's great shot-making ice, as you know.
Yeah, it's been great to watch all week, to see ice conditions like this, to allow these players to make all the shots, make the hits and the draws around guards, and see the curl and speed. It's always something that's nice to have when you show up to any event, and Sean does a great job. Sean Olson, our head ice tech, and his crew, so it's great to see.
What's that? You're not in our... I think it says something to the work our ice crew does, that our national ice crew, that everybody that's come in the booth has complimented it and talked about how consistent it is, not just through this championship, but for every nationals that we play. Going into it, you could pretty much tell somebody what the ice is going to do before you even set foot on the ice, because Sean's ice is that consistent from what we get.
I think this year has been really a testament to his abilities, at least the last couple of years. Some of the places, the different places we've had to put ice and make good ice. I mean, I know that they held that event in the mall in Edmonton, but I don't think that was an easy place to make ice with the conditions and the glass roof. So
no, certainly not. Not just that it was an unusual place, but so many changing conditions with that glass roof, and when the mall would open up at 11, the temperature would change because people would come in the building, and I think they would turn the air conditioning on more when people were around. So a lot of factors they had to deal with. I think they're probably happy just to be in a curling club with nice controlled conditions made for this event. Miranda Scheel, open hit on this rock in the back of the 8-foot, maybe trying to roll towards the corner. We'll see if they can repeat what Schapman did in the first. Score 3 with their last 3. Probably need to get the roll to do that. It's going to roll a long ways. Will it bite in the back?
That was really weird.
Yeah, clears the house.
I think you can get me there.
Okay. You got this.
opportunity here for Team Schapman once again to get a redstone behind their center guard, their off center guard, and put some pressure on Scheel. Already up 3 points in the second end.
What are you doing with this rock? It's okay. That was just one of the most extreme ones I've seen. All right, we're drawing around that. Okay, we're gonna draw around that.
The smell of bacon is strong in the building right now, Andrew. We've mentioned that for these morning draws when they're preparing that for the rest of the day. Very distracting.
They were making some chili yesterday that smelled pretty good. Popcorn during the
Food's been
afternoon.
Very good in here. The burgers are great. May have had a few of those myself.
Always curl, always curl, always curl.
Ava Schapman trying to play the come around draw.
Bring it, right here.
Intern side, line looks really good.
Touch forward, you got it, you got it.
See how far her sisters can carry this one.
That's fine.
Good teaser there, stays above the tee line, the most important thing. So good result.
I don't think I can get
Probably eliminates any chance of a 2 for Team Scheel with that placement.
We do that, we're playing for the blanks. I know. I play for the blank? I don't know. Because I don't know if I just get here, I don't know if we aren't playing for the blank anymore still. Let's just go nose. That's fine. It's gonna be like pack probably. That's really tight. It'll curl a lot, but yeah, I like keeping it down late. Court's probably okay.
So they're going to try to dig this out with a soft weight intern hit. Don't really see a whole lot outside of just tapping that stone back, but not much space to tap it to where you could get shot and have a chance to score 2 anyways. So probably the right call, just to play the hit, take your medicine, maybe get a blank out of it.
I think we're always rolling open and leaving her a hit roll that we're
The nice part about these 10-end games, it's a lot of ends to come back. So
A lot of time left. Still another 8 after this. So Bella Hagenbaugh, her first here in the second.
Close side, yep.
Early sweep again, trying to hold the line. Looks like it's by. Jams on the back yellow. I think is still on the paint too.
That's probably, that's in.
I think if we can get the roll, great, and if we nose it,
Yeah.
that's okay also.
Nosing's all right.
I'll throw control. I don't know what it's exactly going to do along the wall, so I think here's fine.
in practice, it was kind of sucking it out toward the wall. So
I'm going to be a little careful with it.
I think I heard them say it's in, but I thought they were going to put us to the test for the second in a row.
Yeah, well, that's one that we're pretty sure on usually when they're at the top of the screen. If it's anywhere near, it's usually in. So even though we can see white on that overhead, I'm pretty certain that rock is in the house. The Team Schapman agrees.
Just go nose.
So they're just playing for nose. I like the call. It's a long roll to play for, so you don't want to risk rolling out and still giving up that blank. So nose is a good spot. Final stone of the second for Ava Schapman. A little tight out of hand. Needs to go for contact.
Take the roll.
They hit a lot more of that than they thought they were going to, I think. Good sweep there, and as we talked about too, Andrew, that is probably the straightest line on the sheet. So that helped hold that line as well, but great sweep by the Schapman ladies.
Spot where you can afford to be a little tight.
Yeah, throwing to the sweepers there is never a bad thing. So final stone, second end. Bella Hagenbaugh playing the hit and stick for a single. On off, usually a good thing. And that is right on the nose. So a single for Team Scheel. Team Schapman now leads 3-1 after 2 ends of play. And after 2 ends, we'll tell you about Steve's Curling Supplies, America's #1 curling equipment supplier for over 50 years. Proud to support USA Curling. No matter your skill level or budget, they have all the top products from the most popular brands in the sport. Right now, you can save $10 on any purchase of $100 or more when you use the code USACurling10 at checkout. Visit us at stevescurling.com for all your curling needs. Scheel gets their 1, the final stone of the second. Schapman leading 3-1 with Hammer playing the third. Again, Schapman already locked into the 4 spot in the playoffs.
I think we're a touch up.
Frances Schapman, first in the third.
Top right, stick around. T, back 8.
Frances is a talented singer.
Back 8, it's grinding.
And makes great chocolate chip cookies. That's a
It's grinding.
very important skill. The singing's great, but we're very interested in the cookie part of it.
Okay. That's okay, Francis.
That's the way to get on the good side of an announcer.
Especially when you're in 7th grade, too.
Oh.
That has to be one of the youngest players in the field, I would imagine.
I have a handful of pretty young players. I think the Nia Berg team is all 14 and under, around there.
Young. I love the way Nia throws the stone. I mentioned that during their game we had. Just very confident, quick, not a lot of moving parts.
Top 8. Yep. Always curl. Always curl. You got lots of room.
May Hagenbaugh,
Lots of room. Hard curl.
she throws like a veteran. Like she's played a lot of games already.
Good sweep, Miranda.
Gets into the top of the 8-foot.
How much you got?
I remember what I was doing in curling when I was 14.
I like board.
Not this.
Definitely not this.
not playing at Worlds or anything like that either.
Board. Control.
Here is Francis playing the intern hit. Sweeper's trying to get it by the guard. Good safe weight to miss the back one and makes the hit. Nice shot. This will be our Team Schapman info end. We know we've done a few games for Team Scheel, but for those that haven't watched, we'll get to some fun facts on their team as well. Here is Riley Kraft throwing the intern. Trying to come around that guard.
Starting curl here. Always start curl.
And Andrew down 2 without hammer, but still in the third end. No need to panic this early. You'd like to get a steal if you can, but nothing wrong with even a force just to get hammer back.
Yeah, I think you start thinking about taking a few more chances if an opportunity comes up, but if there's a blank or if you do force, which obviously isn't a steal, but it's still a good result, you have a lot of time to get back in this game and get it close as it goes on.
Where are we at? Is it top 4?
We got to throw in one Schapman that's not here because this, I love this fact, and they put it in here specifically for me. My name is next to this. Mary Schapman, who is not here, she's 10 years old, and she beat Doug Cameron in league. Who's a good friend of mine and Ross and Sammy's in the club. I really hope Doug is watching and got to hear that too.
You're telling me we could see the all Schapman junior team
Apparently,
soon?
we're not that far away from it, yeah.
Whoa! Whoa! Yep!
So Jessica Margan, the non-Schapman, playing the out-turn hit here. Really nice throw here. I like that this team is not afraid to attack stones they can only see part of in the house, too. That's great touch there from Margan.
I think one of the hardest things learning as a curler growing up is those soft weight takeouts around guards, and
yeah,
it's really easy to
more
say.
hit weights than one.
Yeah, it's easy to throw like a normal weight and a little harder and make draws, but to really dial in that softer weight is so important.
May Hagenboss sweeping hard to try to get a good piece of that stone. Does make the takeout, rolls out. It's like Jessica goes by Jessie, according to these notes. We'll stick with that here on out. Works at her family-owned greenhouse. Goes to UW Eau Claire, Barron County as a freshman. So some local flavor there. Here is her second stone, now playing the out-turn come-around draw.
Really light. Line's good, line's good, line's good.
It's only ever curl. That's running a
Really
lot.
runs on this line. Did like that playing the out-turn to come around the outside of it with hammer, but just a really quick straight line there. It ends up going, we believe, through.
That was one of those interesting crossroads at an end where Team Scheel had a slight miss and Team Schapman had the decision whether to peel the guard and play for the blank or get more aggressive and go for your multiple.
Yeah, I think with that rock in the back 12, I like the draw. The guard's a little off the center line, so it's not real dangerous, and it's still early in the game. So I think the draw is the right shot. Nice line here on this draw by Miranda Scheel. Perfectly buried. Well done by Miranda.
Do you want to freeze it or do you want to peel?
Do you hate peel?
Yeah, I think we should peel. Peel, wait.
Claire Schapman now.
Yep.
Yep.
Hard!
Yep, hard.
To that nose it.
Claire was the captain of her high school soccer team, an all-time leading scorer.
Pull it off.
Wow.
Wow.
Multi-sport athlete.
She can't be old enough to be the all-time leading scorer, can she? That's quite the skill set. My goodness. She's probably going to be adding on to the total, I would think. She is a sophomore in high school. I'm trying to do the math on that. How in the world is she the all-time leading scorer for her high school as a sophomore? I'm going to have to check with Jenna and make sure we got these facts right.
She had a great freshman season.
I guess. And I suppose this would be the tail end of her sophomore season. So she played twice, but maybe played in middle school as well. Got to look those stats up. We got to see if Jenna can give us numbers on that now, too, and get really into the nitty-gritty on these facts.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh, there's Jenna right there. Yeah, you said the sophomore in high school is the all-time leading scorer for our soccer team? That's in the info here. That's incredible. We need stats. We need numbers. We need to know how many goals.
Yep.
Thank Jenna Bercheski for getting all these interesting tidbits for the teams for us, too.
Keep going.
Takeout attempt wrecks the guard and ends up rolling
Right, you're good.
through the rings.
It's okay.
Their team has a dinosaur mascot named Rocky. They said it seemed like a good dinosaur name, and they got him in the Rocky Mountains. And they also looked to Rocky Balboa for inspiration. So a well-named mascot.
All checks out. Did you guys have a mascot when you were playing juniors? Or?
I'm trying to remember if we had anything. Our mascot in men's was basically just Matt. You don't really need a mascot when you already have a cartoon character on your team. But I'm trying to think back to juniors if we had anything like. I'm sure we had lots of good luck charms and superstitions and things like that, but I don't remember a specific one really. Bella Hagenbaugh sitting one already, maybe a chance to get a steal here for her squad.
Line's really good. Straight side. Close line. Almost to center. Close girl. Close girl. Roll on
Just playing the guard.
Nice shot.
That's very well placed.
That's fine. Good touch.
And that's okay.
You could consider trying to dig that out through the hole, but problem is it may double wreck the guards and leave the shooter there.
All right.
There's a lot of interesting options. Like she's signaling you could draw and go on the offensive. I don't mind this call either.
Yeah, I like it. You can still score 2 with your last 2, and scoring it all in this end is still good with the 3-1 lead. That rock's only halfway in the 8-foot.
We're just going to draw under there.
Good call.
Top 8. Top
Skip
4.
Ava Schapman
Pro sites
enjoys
probably a
outdoor
little-
activities and painting. She's taking a gap year for school, which as curlers, that is not an uncommon thing at all. I took a year off myself when I was in the thick of my junior career.
Don't know too many curlers who finished in 4 years.
Yeah. She's one of us. Intern draw. Going around the outside. This guard needs to get the full 8-foot.
Gotta go line! Hard girls! Hard girls! Get it full 8!
Sweeper's trying to carry this to the paint. Really needs to go to get shot.
Full 8! Hard girls!
Still going.
Don't stop! Keep going! Full 8! Hard!
Just stops short. Gets second count.
Okay.
So now a chance for Team Scheel maybe to wrap another one around to the 4-foot. I like the call here.
This is Max. Your guard was here.
Best path to get in there to get a second counter, Andrew.
Okay, I like it.
Like that out turn.
Yeah.
Bella, like a 14.
We've seen a few go deep on this line too. When I say a few, I mean consistently throughout the week for everybody playing on it. But it's a touchy line. You get to the 4-foot line, it turns over pretty hard. That should not be a problem with this shot.
We usually see those straighter spots. You know, the curl doesn't take the weight out of it, so it's easy to get tripped up on the speed here.
Which short do you have in the last?
So out turn, come around draw to the side of the 4-foot. Bella Hagenbaugh.
Line's really good. Little tight. Close line. Line's good. All you guys.
Sweepers seem to like it.
Curl it.
Line's really good.
Curl it. Bring it back. Bring it back.
Just needs to sit for second count.
Forward.
That's a pretty good shot. Buried back of the 8-foot.
Just follow it.
Final player before the end is over. Alternate Lila Farrell. She's training for a half marathon and plays the cello, but 3/4 size. I don't know if you've seen Lila. She's probably 3/4 size. Also a sophomore in high school. Got to work with Lila at junior camp in Denver.
Get full forward.
You don't want to name favorites too much, but she was such a pleasure to work with, so gracious for anybody's time. Actually wrote me a note to thank me after the event was over that I still kept. Those things mean a lot. And just a wonderful, wonderful girl to work with.
When we were out in Denver for the Colorado Cup mixed doubles event, Sarah Anderson and I, we actually played them, and her and Caden Rose in the mixed doubles quarters, and yeah, they made it tough for us out there.
She has a silver medal in club nationals as well too. I don't have one of those. These sophomores in high school, I'll tell you what. So final stone, third end. Ava Schapman drawing for the single point. Line looks good. It's all on the weight.
You got it. Keep going. Keep going. Yes.
Oh, that's really well done. Great touch. Schapman gets the single. They go up 4-1 after 3 ends of play. Played the hero shot there at the end. And speaking of heroes, Warm Room Hero. More than just software, they're curlers dedicated to building long-term relationships with your club. Warm Room Hero provides continuous support to ensure your website exceeds your members' expectations. Check out Warm Room Hero today at curling.club. That's Warm Room Hero at curling.club. Other scores here for this round of games. On sheet A, Claire View and Julia Pekowicz tied 1-1. Sheet B, Ali Giroux with a 2-0 lead on Allery Johnson in the third. That battle for the number 1 seed. Sheet C, Nia Berg, 2-1 lead over Gracia Berg in the third, and our feature matchup on sheet D, Ava Schapman leading 4-1 over Miranda Scheel in the fourth. So start of the fourth. Getting a check to see if this rock is touching the center line. Andrew, would you like to explain the no tick zone rule to the viewing audience?
Yeah, recently with the prevalence of the tick shot, they've added a rule where if the stone is touching the center line for the first 4 stones, 5 stones? God, I can't even remember myself.
I believe. We'll call it that.
You can't move it off the line. So if a stone makes contact and moves that center line guard off of the center line, the other team is allowed to move it back. They don't have to, but they can.
It's really, along with the 5 rock free guard zone rule, created a lot more offense in our game. And Andrew, as somebody on the Competition and Rules Commission for the World Curling Federation, when we discussed the no tick, we did a lot of polling of players. We weren't really sure what the reaction would be to this particular rule after the trial events that we used it in. And we're surprised that the responses being either positive or indifferent. There really wasn't any negative feedback. The players seemed to like that it made the later ends more interesting and took that tick out of play. So it became a permanent rule after the second year that we had it implemented, and don't see it going anywhere now.
Yeah, I think teams were getting so good at that tick shot, especially in a tied last end scenario, where it ended up just being a pretty simple shot for the team with hammer to win, and now you see more interesting ends, and when teams get behind, the ability to throw some center guards and really get some offense going, it's been great.
And it hasn't changed the results of games very much, and so they got exactly what they wanted with the rules adjustment. Is they didn't want teams that had gained that advantage of being ahead late in the game to have a lower winning percentage than they did prior, but the difficulty level of shots at the end of the game was different. So that's the ideal situation, that you're still being rewarded for being in the position, like if you're tied up with the hammer in the last end, but still making the end of that game more interesting for the viewers. So the rule did exactly what it was meant to do.
It's great for us here in the booth because we get to see those great shots in action.
Absolutely. May Hagenbaugh, lead for Team Scheel. If you've watched some of the feature broadcasts early in the week, you know we've talked about them. But for those that haven't, May's a 4-time rep at the U18 Junior Nationals, 3 times at the U21s, Mixed Nationals gold and silver medalists, Mixed Worlds top 10 finalists. That's way too long a resume already for somebody of that age. She'd like to get back to the Worlds and win gold at some point and get Olympic gold somewhere down the road. And this is the 3rd time I've mentioned this on the air now, and it's very difficult to say, but her curling idol is Dean Gemmel. Somebody you're very familiar with, Andrew. She's your father's longtime teammate. Loves to golf and run as well, sophomore at St. Bede Academy.
She must have watched a lot of curling in 2012.
I would imagine, yeah. That storied 2012 national championship team with Heath McCormick, your father, Bill Stapera, Dean Gemmel, and the aforementioned Martin Sather.
It was a fun run to watch.
Who was the alternate on that team for Worlds?
I think Craig Brown went with him. Yeah.
Yeah, we had him for a year too. Never got any of those Craig's or Steve's curling supplies discounts from having him on board though. Might have to chat with him about that.
Yep, I like that.
I think Craig said maybe even on his podcast that he was kind of annoyed they brought him to Worlds because he liked not liking them, and I think anyone who knows my dad is not the easiest to get along with all the time.
Oh,
so
I don't know about that. I've always got along very well with your father. He's very entertaining.
Not afraid to say what he thinks.
I like that.
Yep, line. Whoa. Whoa.
Jessica Morgan,
Whoa.
out turn hit.
Shoot.
Curling up here towards the end. Just make the stick in the outside. So Riley Kraft, second for Team Scheel. Riley also has been to the U21s 3 times, U18s 6 times. Won the U18s in 2022. She'd like to go to the Olympics for mixed doubles with her brother. That would be a very meaningful thing, I'm sure. Her curling idol, this one's even harder to say, and again, 3rd time I've had to say it. Matt Hamilton. Yeah, she's young. I mean, she's got a long ways to go. There's a lot of learning to do. Well, obviously, Matt's a good idol to have. If you're gonna mimic anybody's attitude and energy on the ice, Matt would be right at the top of the list. And as we say it, there's the hit and roll underneath, channeling Matt's energy.
It's funny how many of these curlers you see play mixed doubles. I saw Riley in Winnipeg for an event earlier in the season. It's good to see as the discipline picks up.
I really like this rock here, so I think we should run it back. I think it's right here, maybe right there. I think you can just throw normal.
So just trying to clear the front now, maybe get both of them moving.
You want less or more?
Claire Schapman, not overthrowing this one. Maybe keep the shooter around, but see if they can get both of these yellows. Good clean throw there from Claire.
That's close. Sorry, Claire. Claire, I'm sorry.
Just a little misread. You hear the apology from sister to sister. I don't know if you noticed in the background here too, Andrew, but Lila doing some squats. Maybe getting loose to come in the game at the break and get a few stones in. I really like that. We always did the same thing our last round robin game if it didn't have any bearing for playoffs for us. Alternate got in the game. Usually we'd have one player play 5 and then another player come out. So I think like I would play 5 ends and come out, and Matt would come in. And if it was Joe that was on the team, he'd play the full 10. And usually we did pretty well in those games too. I know we whacked Nicholas Sedin in 2017 in Edmonton doing that.
Right in
Just
the
had their
middle.
number though.
We kind of did. You're right on that.
No, don't freeze. Hit it.
Probably the only team in the world that wanted to play
Well, yeah,
Nicholas.
if you hit it right in the middle, you get both.
Sports are weird like that. Just
yeah, do you want to throw
matchups,
normal
having
or
somebody's
firm?
number gets in your head too. We're very fortunate that of all teams to have their number, that was ours.
What? Oh, okay. Do you like the broom then? Okay.
Saw that shot from Miranda Scheel.
Yes! Whoa! Whoa!
Bright future for
Whoa!
Miranda. We'll be watching her for many years to come, I'm sure.
Okay, that
That
was
double
a lot
attempt
of
just
weight.
gets the one, rolls to the outside.
Like this way. So like that 10. Okay. This one's wide open. I don't mind this. I think we just gotta roll good. Okay, we'll keep an eye on it.
You
but
see
I like
Skip
this.
Bella Hagenbaugh there. She would love to stand on top of an Olympic podium someday as well. U21 qualifier 4 times, U18 qualifier 4 times, mixed national, silver in 22, gold in 23.
Yep. Hard, dig, Riley.
Has to have an apple,
Riley, you got it.
or apple juice, sorry, for 5th end break. Loves to draw the 4-foot. Her curling idol, I can approve of this one, absolutely. Anna Hasselborg,
Even.
another Olympic gold medalist and
We have to go after
very
this
well
one, I think.
respected
If we can
by
get
her
a
fellow
roll,
competitors.
If you can get,
Definitely.
yeah, if you
then
can
they
get
just roll.
She's at St. Bede
we
Academy
try to
in
get the roll
Peru,
together. If
Illinois,
we
where
know
she's a
that's
senior.
okay.
Will be attending
But if you
Marquette
I like the roll
Just
behind that.
control. Like, no,
next
just
fall.
okay.
Plans to get her doctorate
gotta
in
make sure it passes the
occupational
guard for
therapy.
sure.
Okay.
It's a field my sister was in. Very familiar with that.
Know a couple people who've curled out of Marquette. Tom Howell.
Yeah,
All right.
Tommy.
Good throw. That was a 7-1.
Do an event
though,
with Tom
so
in Milwaukee in a
we
few
don't need
weeks.
to
Looking
quite
forward to
This is
that.
it.
You said control, right?
Yeah, just control. We're gonna throw control here. Try to get a roll under if we can. But
Obviously, somebody you're very familiar with there too, Andrew.
Spent a little time with him the last couple of
Little
years.
bit, yeah.
Just a little bit.
So Ava Schapman playing the outturn
Yep.
soft weight hit.
Whoa. Yes. Yes. Yes, hard straight. Hard. Hard to get by. Hard. Hard. Gotta go hard. You got it hard.
Just papers that guard. And goes through. So a good opportunity for Team Shield. Get a multiple point end, get back in this game.
I think we're coming this way out of it. Yeah, for sure. I got excited for a second. Even if we're sticking out here, that's on the end of the road, yeah. You'll always have that short run. Yep. Bella, still like a 14-6? I agree. Yeah.
You like the draw around the outside here, Andrew?
Good draw.
Just wondering that myself. My only concern with it would be, A, if you're a little short, you can maybe leave a double for them to sit under the guard, or B, if you put it in the right spot and they make a hit and roll on top, it kind of takes away your chance for 3. So
Yeah, there's not a lot of space you can throw it to that doesn't leave your opponent a good look, but there aren't a ton of good spots to throw it to here. I mean, you can go out wide on the outturn side. You could throw it in the back of the house on the other side, but that might leave a double and roll. So if you can get this to biting top 8, it might be your best spot. We'll see how good the placement is. The line looks good.
Top 4. Just top 4.
Looks like they're going all the way to top 4.
Hard dig. Gotta be there, guys. Hard dig. Hard, you got it. Hard dig. Girl. Yep. Hey, Dutch.
That's pretty good. The roll is not shot rock, so
because
you have to kind of thin it to make the double.
Is that too risky?
If it goes another foot, that would have been really
Can you
good.
get it coming this way?
I probably could. Okay, so if we want to get the double, we have to hit this here. Otherwise, I think we just do that and make them drop. Okay.
Very nice shot there
So I
by
think we
Bella
can just go
Hagenbaugh.
normal and just do that if we get the double great.
Okay, where
But
do we need to hit for the double?
It's like right here, so
Okay.
it's not. I think we should just play the hit and roll.
Okay.
With normal weight.
All right.
So I think here's good.
Okay.
And carrying it that extra 6 inches is what took the double away. If those were sitting next to each other, as you mentioned, Andrew, then it's a fairly
Alright,
straightforward
we're just gonna
double.
hit and roll on top
But just a
of
little
it.
too thin for Schapman to risk, and they're just going to try to play the
Really,
roll
it's
now.
Super thin, and just the way we need to hit it when it works.
this is
So we're
smart
gonna
call
normal
to
weight,
not play
hit
close to that guard where you could give up a 4 and
roll, normal weight.
just make the softer hit and roll and concede your 2 and take the lead going into the 5th end.
Ava Schapman's final stone of the 4th.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Yes, hard. Hard.
Sweeper's going hard. Maybe they can thin this and play the double after all.
Hard.
That clears one of them. Does sit for
I
second
didn't see
count.
what any of this did, but I don't think it matters.
So maybe a delicate hit for 3 on that back stone.
Like there? Yeah. We could also go back line if you're just letting it draw. That's true. Like draw's fine here. Right? Yeah. I think we gotta take it down. Yeah, I'm okay with back line. You like there? Yeah. I think this is min, but it should be okay. Okay.
So they will play the hit on the back stone. Only need to play
Pace is probably okay.
through the house weight. You need to move it a half a foot. So this is one throw to the sweepers.
This is one that you could just think draw. If you over curl, touch your Yellowstone in the 8 foot and get your 2, it's not bad. But if the weight and line is good, could try the tap.
It's a little far out in the sheet, so it shouldn't curl too much. There's a little more curl on this side. The final stone, 4th end, Bella Hagenbaugh playing the heavy draw, essentially, for 3. Looks like it's over curling now. They have enough weight maybe to make it with a short run. Not quite enough, but they do get the 2. Erring on the correct side. So with that 2, Schapman now leading Scheel 4-3 after 4 ends of play. (4-3) Schapman leading. 5th end of action in our feature game, the 2024 U21 Women's National Championship. Again, Team Schapman already with that number 4 spot locked up for the playoffs. Team Scheel looking to finish their tournament with a win if they can.
Good speed, guys.
Top 8, top 4.
High guard there from
Top
May
4.
Hagenbaugh.
You got it. Close.
Line's tight. T. Weight only, guys.
No
weight
Diet
only,
Dr.
weight
Peppers
only.
yet today.
Oh, I think we're
Andrew,
good.
we got a little ways to go before we need that. Only a 2-game day. This is probably just a 1 DDP
Yeah.
day.
It's an easy day for you, all
Yeah,
things
this
considered.
is just coasting. Morning game, night game. This is the pro schedule now.
Okay.
It's nice they let us sleep in a little bit today after 8 a.m. draw yesterday.
Well, some of us, when there's 4-game days, are taking that 8 a.m. game off. Some of us here in the booth are not. Rory McCusker and Matt Wall, Eau Claire's own Matt Wall, tireless here in the booth for every single draw for this curling stadium crew. Somewhere out there in the ether, John Benton pushing buttons, making sure nothing explodes.
15-4 to my room. Hard guys. Hard dig. Hard dig.
It's important work. You never know.
Okay, you're good. Good sweep.
Yeah, every once in a while stuff starts moving around on this screen, and I know that's John sitting at home. Thank
Top
God,
4,
because
top 8.
if I had to handle anything, we'd all be in trouble.
You're gonna have to add that a lot less.
Line is very, very, very tight.
Francis Schapman playing the intern,
Line's really tight.
come around draw.
Hard, girls. Hard, girls. 2. You gotta keep going. Bring it as far as you can.
Hopefully we'll have a nice showing from Duluth club members tonight for the playoff game to watch their own. This Team Schapman. The locals from Eau Claire have been out in full force all week long, Andrew. We've had a packed building basically every night. I can tell you, I got here to do a broadcast yesterday. Got here 40 minutes before the game started and had to park on the street. And the lot's not small.
No. Yeah, we've showed up a couple times just to come watch and can't even find a seat behind the sheet that we want to sit behind.
And we have a large screen in the common area of the curling club that we've had many people watching on, even though they're in the club. They're watching on television, watching our broadcast, and I expect that will definitely be the case for tonight's Page playoffs and then tomorrow's semifinal and finals.
Skill.
Oh, this yellow one here in the top 12.
You guys at the Duluth Curling Club always do such a great job when your teams are in playoff games at Worlds and at Nationals to get the community to come out and watch. It's always impressive.
Yeah, I think that goes all the way across the curling world. Obviously, I'm biased from my home club in Duluth, but I know when we were playing in Nationals, World events, Olympics, that we always felt the love, whether it was in-house or from afar, from our members. I'll never forget seeing the first time after we won gold, the video from the Duluth Curling Club was wall-to-wall people singing the national anthem along with us as we were on top of the podium. And I always tell people I didn't get emotional on top of the podium, but I did when I saw that video. That was the first tears I had. So that stuff means a lot. We're very proud of our young squad here from Duluth.
Sorry, guys. All right.
And fun to see things go full circle with Ross Littman coaching them after coaching me when I was 10 years old. I don't know what that says about Ross's age, but
You'll have to ask these girls if they know. They also had to slide without a rock for the first.
yeah, I don't know. They certainly throw the rock good enough that could be a possibility. So Riley Kraft, intern, come around draw. Do hope to see her at the Olympics with her brother someday.
Top 8, top 4. Line only. Top 8, top 4. Oh, you got room. Close. Line only. Close. Top 4. Top 8, top 4. Room. Top 4. Curl. Take my room. Yep. Hard curl it.
Nice line here on this intern draw.
Really good. Weight's really good.
That's going to bury
Curl.
right on the tee line. Great shot. Well done.
Sorry. 14-5. Can I just throw something down at the pile of rocks?
Team Scheel has something going here, sitting 2.
Try to hit this
Both
like
buried.
Right here.
Okay.
Just firm
like that.
weight.
Heel? Firm?
Firm.
So Jesse Margan playing a slash, trying to at least open this up and maybe get one of these yellows in the rings too.
Whoa.
Very close. Jams on the red and just stays there for center. So maybe time to wrap another one in there for Team Scheel, Andrew.
Yeah, big opportunity for Scheel, who feel like they've been chasing for a lot of this game, but the chance to get another one behind those center guards and create a really good opportunity for a steal.
See Team Johnson and Team Giroux just going back out to start their 6th end right now. They must be flying in that game. So same intern from Miranda Scheel. That's Riley Kraft through. This one looks like it has plenty of weight. Generally on that side of the sheet, when it starts turning about 10 feet before the hog line, that's when the weight's right. And that one didn't turn until just after. And that coasts right through. Ice doesn't lie.
Do you think we should feel those, or do you want to just draw? What?
I don't know, what do you like here, Andrew? Not a bad option either way.
Good. But
My first
I mean, we
thought
started
would be
peeling.
to
Can we keep peeling?
open it up and make sure you score, but if you can make that draw right now, it kind of takes a lot of the worry out of the end.
If you make the draw, you're probably scoring. You do have the 1-point lead with Hammer.
hitting it here is good.
It's not an easy double peel, and if you make it, then they're wrapping another one in again, even though it's a less dangerous situation, but it doesn't get you completely out of jail to make it. And you got to hit it probably.
Let's just go over top, I think.
Yeah, over the top is pretty thin, so
Right right there.
If you do make it that way, you might
Just
get action
firm.
on that stone in the forefoot
Just
too.
firm. That's it. What? You want broom where I
I
want
think
you to
this
hit it? Yeah.
Schapman team with
Okay.
their coach probably talked about what they wanted to try to do before this end, and I imagine with the 1 point lead in the hammer that scoring was probably the top of the list. So I think this is probably the best call to try to do that.
Hard. Okay, roll it off. Any roll, any roll,
That's a
any
good
roll.
result there. Shooter rolls away.
That's good.
Top rock rolls into the ring, so a good shot.
Perfect weight.
Claire Schapman, the all-time leading scorer for her high school soccer team. We did get some more information on that we're not going to give you because it makes the story less impressive. We can confirm that she is the all-time leading scorer for her high school. That part is true.
We're going to it, right? Okay, to it's not the end of the world, but I would
She'll
rather
get a
be
very
right.
good chance to build on that over the next 2 years as well.
Sometimes it's important to not let the truth get in the way of a good story.
No, we didn't say anything that wasn't true.
It's all true.
No, it
You're
is
right,
true.
you're right.
There are some other details that could be included, but we're not going to do that.
Are we ever coming to
We'll just
it?
leave you with the facts, people.
Got lots of room,
The
yeah.
rest of it's just semantics.
Curl. 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 Hard, gotta curl. Hard, gotta curl.
In-turn draw,
Hard under.
coming right into the top of the 12-foot. Pretty good spot, but the draw open now because of that double peel on the previous shot. Good shot by Miranda Scheel, though. Good line for that one.
I don't know, we just threw 2 peels, so.
I think on that one they called a tight guard, but the line was the most important part.
Yeah,
Being
actually a better spot in the top of the 12-foot
We're
than
really far
the
out
guard.
there.
It makes the draw a little bit
Always
tougher.
curl. Where, girls, where?
I think it's a touchdown.
Okay, we just
Actually,
want
no,
it
we're
right
team.
here,
Plenty
guys.
of room right now.
Whoa.
Hasn't really started curling either. I think this is a little more weight than they think.
Okay,
Settles
that's
in for
okay.
second count.
Sometimes a little difficult going from side to side after watching Team Scheel throw that in-turn draw, and those kind of come off as it curls, and then Team Schapman switching sides and not getting the same finish to take the weight off.
Yeah, I think if you threw that exact same weight and line on the opposite side, if the house was flipped, it would have been right on the top of the button probably.
Playing it tight because they haven't been moving a ton. Hitting it on the inside is ideal. If we get it on the
So you see the clocks there, 21 minutes remaining for Team Scheel, 20 minutes for Team Schapman. So no danger on time for either, which again tells you exactly how fast that Giroux-Johnson game must be going. With both those teams undefeated, just playing for the #1 seed in the 1-2 playoff game. Hits right on the nose. Now sitting 3 again.
Okay, let it go good.
Yeah.
I think that's
I
good.
think probably, right?
I mean, they might be able to pick. Sit.
Not what they wanted on that shot, but certainly an interesting spot. There's no easy hit and roll for Team Schapman to get a stone into a great spot, and you could throw the freeze again, but it's against 2 stones in the 4-foot where if you're a little shorter, a little heavy, you could make your life a whole lot harder.
Yeah, I think if you're Chapman, you almost have to hit and try to roll in,
Okay.
let them try to freeze. It's not much better option. See what they're thinking.
Or else we do this, make them do that, and then we do this. Make a play on it.
It'll probably only get 1 out of this.
Oh, for sure. Unless we freeze here, but I feel like that's kind of risky. Unless we play the freeze pro side heavy and I bump it a little bit. We just can't be light. If you want to do that, I'm fine with that.
I kind of like that. Pro
Okay.
side. Definitely.
Okay. And even being here is fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So playing the freeze, thinking it just need to be there. This is a touchy line to play this shot on, too, if you're trying to make sure you're there.
The freeze pro side is heavy and, like, bump. And even if we're raw.
And the tendency on these shots, Andrew, is when you're talking about making sure we're there and using the backing is to throw for the backing but have broom for the freeze. And on this particular line, with how straight it runs, if you give it just a little bit extra, and this rock could run. So you need to be careful with this release. So out turn freeze attempt.
Where we at? We can't be light. Touching here. Hard, girls. Hard. Go, go, go. Get it there. Get it there, girls.
Line looks pretty good now.
Keep going.
Needs weight, though.
Keep going, girls. Keep going. Go. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. That's not a bad
Stops in the top of the 8-foot. So something they can use, but
it's just
forces your opponent to guard.
I don't like leaving it wide open. Oh, was it? Yeah. That's what I meant. I don't know. Yeah. I got you. Yep.
Do you guys get a lot of
Yeah, I like to
commentators curse talking about that one coming heavy, and then it?
There's been a few, yeah. That one's probably on the list. I'll take that one.
Wasn't too bad of a one.
No, it's not a bad
No,
shot,
it's not.
but it would have been a worse curse if I said exactly what happened if they throw that one by.
The one that she just threw, if we can half cover it on your side, I love it. Yeah.
So I like that they're taking plenty of broom on this shot, Andrew. These guards, when you can under curl and finish it, you see the miss so many times, calling whoa right away and then hoping it stops. Taking max broom for guards where you can finish, and it really doesn't matter how deep it is. Much better way to go.
For whatever reason, it feels like when you're throwing those high guards to guard something a little off the center line, it's so easy to not take enough ice and see the stone kind of warp to the center.
yeah.
That was a pretty good result. Makes the tap a little tougher.
Yeah, it's still there, I think, but does make it more difficult for sure.
Yeah. Or do we throw this?
I mean, the draw is there.
I think we that.
Yep.
And if we get
It is
that-
nice if they play that wide draw. It's the shot that she played for 1 point, I think, just 2 ends ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much identical. But really going to need to get, if they are playing it wide, tight to that
We're gonna try to throw the draw.
red. If it's just a draw,
Back for weight.
can they get second?
Um,
I don't know if they can get shot.
if we can play the tap if we need to.
Might be easiest if you're playing around that red to actually tap the yellow to make sure you only give up one.
There, one yellow back a little bit.
So you heard that call
I am
again
so
to play the
sorry, you
tap
guys.
if we need to.
Just
Uh,
my call on my first shot in the way. it
Thinking a
threw.
little too much multiple times this game about here's our two options, either is good, when those two really aren't that close to each other for the make. So a little more definitive action about what shot you're playing. It's good to know the options, but focus in on what you're playing. So final shot, first half of this game.
Where, girls?
Ava Schapman trying to at least cut Scheel down to 1.
Hard. Where, girls? Where? Hard. Yes, keep going. Gotta go.
Really close on line.
Hard. Line's
I
nice.
think it's by. Maybe pushed it far enough. It's close. Might still be 2. One yellow. So they did cut him to 1. Great shot there by Schapman just to force to give a steal of 1. So the score now tied 4-4 going into the break. Halfway through. It means it's time for the Broomfitters break. Broomfitters.com is the place for good curling gear and fast shipping on everything curling. For a limited time, take 10% off your first order with the code USA. Visit broomfitters.com. Back for the second half of action, our feature matchup here at the USA Curling U21 Women's National Championship event. Ava Schapman, Miranda Scheel, tied 4-4. Start of the sixth end. Tyler George here with junior national champion Andrew Stapera. Andrew, we're awaiting this second shot of this end. Seeing if we need to remind John Landsteiner that it's always faster after the break. First guard placed well by Team Scheel. They had no problem with it.
Well, it's pretty out there.
You think that'd be something that you wouldn't have to say?
You would think.
But I think even like, you know, the non-leads make the mistakes. So.
Oh, yes. Now, did you guys always remind Tommy, like every single sixth end after the break, no matter what?
Not sure we've done every single end, but every once in a while, if we remember. Well, you have to remember, too, to remind him.
Yeah.
So it's tough.
So I never forget. I reminded Steiner every single game because I knew it bothered him. That was fun for me. But it's never a bad thing just to have that little refresher, too. That's just for whatever reason, any given day, you might forget and just send one, here in this club somewhere towards Madison. So open hit made there by Team Scheel. So that come around did not bury. See Coach Littman leaning in intently behind the glass there, second half now.
Not yet.
Not sure if he's heading back for the club championships tonight. If it's going to be on Coach Oldenburg. He's ready to go, and they're in very capable hands. Got to spend a little time with Aiden in Traverse City at the mixed doubles. Hadn't really spoken with him much, but really nice guy. Good company for a beverage and hang out, talk curling.
He and Maddie had a pretty solid week. Tough when you go 4-3 and you don't make the playoffs in your pool and don't even really have a sniff just because of the talent there. But
it's a cruel game.
It is. I think both Connor and Aiden have played together maybe in 2 different seasons, so we kind of get a former teammate battle out there.
Yeah. We did talk to Maddie, because she's close by, about coming up to do some broadcasting while watching, but did not come up for the weekend, so too bad. Andrew's here instead. You can watch at home, Maddie.
There's still time.
Yeah, there is still time, but spots are running out for broadcast now. People like doing playoff games. I can tell you for the Page playoffs tonight, my partner will be Olympian, world champion, and Olympic and world broadcaster as well, and Swiss Helm. Be no shortage of stories and banter for me and Annie here in the booth too.
She had an all right career.
She's done very well for herself, yes. Tough to beat Annie's resume. Our last world champion on the women's side back in 03 with Deb McCormick.
I'm not sure I want to put him on blast, but Marius Kleinis, was going to the House of Hearts last weekend.
Yes,
and
he was there.
We were going through the skips who we could play with, and didn't know. Deb McCormick, world champion. I was like, well,
He didn't know.
He didn't know.
Oh, well, then you have to put him on blast, yeah. Deb, the legend. It's great having her back at the event, too. Are we penciling you in for next year now, Andrew? Are you going to make your debut for House of Hearts?
Could.
Good. We'll put it in ink if you want to come in. Ideally, we always say we're the backup plan for the World Championships. So we'll do pencil.
Okay.
We don't want it in ink and then jinx your
All right, don't worry about it.
world's birth.
Maybe we need the jinx, the reverse jinx.
Put it in marker. Underline it. Circle it. Exclamation marks. Well, there's your press release there. Andrew Stupera. Maybe our first skip for 2025 House of Hearts with a tiny little asterisk next to it.
Give it a lot. It's fine. Give it a lot.
Out turn here from Miranda Scheel.
Are we back? Bring it back.
Team Scheel has put the pressure on Team Schapman the last few ends now, keeping Schapman chasing their stones.
Okay. Oh. You're good. You're good. Do my broom. Straight.
This will settle into the back of the 8-foot, so maybe a chance to draw now for Schapman.
Yeah, I
I think
didn't
they
even
might be hitting the outside rock first.
hit and roll. I know. Control.
Control.
Claire Schapman
Yep. Whoa.
playing the intern, trying to roll underneath that guard.
Yep.
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 Yes.
Yep. Hard.
Hard. Hard, Francis. Yes, hard.
Whoa. That's okay.
Not a
Good
bad
throw. Sorry,
result.
My bad on the call.
Tough to get inside on that, but maybe when you chat with
Okay.
the coach afterwards too, Andrew, and you're looking at how the house is set up with hammer in the 6th, you're playing to roll underneath when you could just draw to that spot, because you're not really playing a blank end, and the roll is much more difficult than throwing the draw there, and that rock in the outside probably not hurting you. So just the more direct route to where you're trying to get to.
Yeah, especially with that
You're moving it hard, dig.
back 4, back 8 stone being buried, you're probably not going to remove that particularly easily.
Right.
So
Hard. Gotta go. Nate, anything on this red? Anything. Okay, that's fine.
They do get the jam. So the roll works out for them,
Just board.
right to the right spot.
Yep. Whoa. Yes. Hard. Hard, Jesse. Hard. Yes. Keep going. Whoa.
Trying to hold the line for the roll.
Roll. Whoa.
That's very well done.
shot.
Great shot.
There.
Team Schapman, they seem to have an ability to turn these ends around when it looks like they're in trouble.
What do you think for T?
Now sitting 2 under cover all of a sudden.
Probably 14-7. Probably.
It's really the mark of talented players sometimes, pulling ends and shots kind of out of nowhere in the most difficult of times.
That's the mark of a winning team,
Yeah.
too. You're not going to make every shot every end, but can you back each other up, get each other out of trouble?
I got it. 4-1. Okay.
Bella Hagenbaugh playing the out-turn freeze. Big shot here. Looking at a couple Schapman counters.
Got room. Line's really good. Still got room. Curl side. Line's really good. Close side. Yep. Straight.
Yeah, this should curl plenty. Don't need to make it curl.
Hard to it. Hard to it. You got it. Hard
Speed coming off on that line, too. Ends up just top ring.
I think it's definitely this too.
Yep.
Probably a little early, but have you seen speed come off later in the game too much?
Not much. The only time where it seems like it's been an issue, and no surprise with this, is on the 4 game days,
All right, we're just a
the
tad
second
bit
half
behind
of the
on time.
final draw, but
We're
it's
gonna
been
draw under
remarkably
there.
consistent
Top
up to that
4.
point.
Top 8's okay.
So I wouldn't expect to see any issues with it for this game or this evening's game, just with the 2 draw day.
Keep calling out the weights. I'm gonna throw it.
Sweepers were going on that one pretty much all the way, so I think they thought it was short too.
Line's pretty
Ava
good.
Schapman throwing the out-turn draw around, really going for the throat.
Hard girls. Where
Actually,
we at?
it's
And that's really the best guard in this situation, Andrew, would be if they can get inside of that stone.
Actually, yeah, you're good.
Line's really good.
Curl it, curl it, curl it. Hard curl. Hard curl. Hard, hard, hard.
Ooh,
Good throw.
just gets to count. That yellow tap, boy, if that gets by and goes another couple inches, they really have him in jail.
Just inches away from having Team Scheel in a whole lot of trouble. Now just a little bit of trouble.
I don't think this one will. Okay. You gotta hit this first and then that one. Right, yeah. No, I know. I just don't want to, like, and leave them sitting. If we ever get to nose, it's really good because it wicks off of this. I guess it won't wick off that much. My first thought was this. If we tap it nose, we can definitely get it. Yeah, I think we can get nose on tap. I just don't think we can get there on a hit. Okay. I think I'm throwing no more than back 4. Yeah, I was thinking like back 8, back 4, back 8. Because even if we tap it to here, that's fine. Yeah.
I like the weight call here. I mean, back 8 probably is what you want at least. Give yourself a little margin for error, but don't overthrow it so it bounces open. So I'm thinking maybe back 12 to back line is your best weight. And you might get a little action off the stones in the forefoot, but nothing that's going to like overthrow so it bounces somewhere where they may have a hit on it.
Yeah, you definitely have some options with this shot. If you're a little high of nose, you hit it into the red in the top 4 and get second, or if you're a little low and you tick off the one it's next to.
So very important tap here for Bella Hagenbaugh. Looking at 3. Just needs to move that stone a few feet to get count. Line should be okay. That's curling now. That looks really good.
Great shot.
Yeah, great shot. Well done.
I think this. Yeah.
Yeah, you can feather that outside one. Thin.
Right here.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
Went right to it, too.
I think we just throw normal, Poppy.
Do you think you could play the red on the right back into the yellow for 2?
Yeah, you could play that one, too. I think the yellow would probably spill.
I'll throw firm.
This one here, you catch it thin enough, you could get 3. You just need to make contact with the yellow. And these are always thinner than you think they are, Andrew. It looks like maybe a third would be okay, and that's probably too thick.
I'm gonna throw
So really you want a quarter or less
What was that?
with at least firm weight.
More? Firm weight.
Yeah, this one looks so thin that if you were to keep the shooter, you may not move the stone and the rings out.
Final stone of the 6th.
Whoa.
Ava Schapman playing this really thin slash.
Whoa.
Needs to curl a little bit now.
Hard push, hard push, hard push.
Just swept it a little early and ends up going by. So great tap by Bella Hagenbaugh, gets the steal. And Team Scheel leads 5-4 after 6.
Twin Cities Orthopedics is ready to go with more doctors, specialty services, and convenient urgent care locations. Ready, set, TCO.
Spinning around the scores, the other sheets for this final women's round robin draw. On sheet A, Clairview, 4-2 lead over Julia Pekowitz in the 7th. Allie Giroux and Allery Johnson battling for that #1 seed on sheet B, 5-5 in the 8th. Gracia Berg now out to a 7-2 lead on Nia Berg in the 6th on sheet C. And our feature matchup, Team Scheel, a couple steals in a row, take the lead now 5-4 over Ava Schapman in the 7th.
And down.
Back house, probably through.
Yeah. Okay.
And this opening intern draw from Frances Schapman ends up going through. May Hagenbaugh's had a solid game. Seems as though by the time we start the commentary for the end, she's got that center guard in play every time already.
Keep going, hard dig. Still 3. Hard dig, got some room yet. 2, 3. Got some room yet. 3, 4. Got some room. Try and get a 4. Try and get a 4. Got a curl though. Hard curl. Hard curl. Hard curl. Hard dig. 2 my room. We're not there.
Sweeper's trying to finish this one to get at least to the 8-foot. Not a bad spot from Hagenbaugh. And Schapman now will chase that stone, and
Just board
I like this call, Andrew, in the 7th.
About the same
Down
same weight
1
you just threw.
with hammer. You can play 0 or 2. So don't need to pile stones up in the 4-foot. If you get 2 or more, great, but you can still keep the blank in play by hitting. You'd rather have that hammer in the 8th.
Yeah, I think sometimes after giving up a couple steals, it's easy to press a little bit. Want to get back on the scoreboard, get that deuce, get back in the lead, and you don't have to, especially it being the 7th end.
Yeah. Makes contact, does roll out, so another chance for Scheel to get underneath. In-turn come-around draw for Riley Kraft.
T. Top 4.
Riley also with a very steady delivery.
Got some room. T. Okay, T. Just let it come down.
Rock comes out clean.
Coming down a lot. T. 14, 8. Still top 14. Yep, curl it. Yep. Bring it back. Yep. Curl it. Yes, okay, curl it. Then you gotta curl it either way. Okay.
Nice shot there from Riley right to the tee line.
Good judge, May.
So Team Scheel keeping Team Schapman chasing again.
Seen Riley make a lot of those intern draws today.
Well, front end has been sharp. Jesse Morgan trying to follow that one. Same path.
We gotta be here. Yeah, you gotta go then. Yep, always curl.
Always curl, always curl.
Where?
Can you curl it?
Just no.
Bounces just
Okay.
a little bit. Early sweep may have bruised it a touch.
I mean, we could come
Good
here,
throw there from Morgan.
or it's this. My first thought was this. Yeah. Okay. Down.
It was pretty good top 4.
Kraft throwing on the same side again.
Forward here. Okay, straight.
Can bounce off of that Schapman counter if they need to. Just throwing the draw, letting her throw the same shot again.
Oh, well, curl, 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 curl then, curl then, curl then, curl then, curl then, any roll. Okay. That's okay.
Not a bad result. That Redstone still backing, but
Wanna do this?
I don't mind that. I also
Okay.
don't mind
Schapman
peeling.
can get inside.
You don't mind peeling? I think you do this now.
Okay.
Just like hack weight or back line.
Okay.
Back 12.
Margan playing the back house weight bump and roll. Needs to get to the inside.
No, stop! What are you doing?
Just coast by on the outside.
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be upset. Just, you're not communicating anything, and then you can't, like, sorry. I'm sorry.
I don't know that communication was going to do a lot with that one anyways in defense of the sweepers and the skip, but yes, you do always want to communicate weight as you go down. It was a little quiet for that shot.
I think that's the right there's the difficulty about playing with family.
Yeah. I know playing mixed doubles with my sister, she would have some choice words about my attitude every once in a while. She's pretty much always right. That's when I knew I needed to shape up a little bit.
It's a lot easier after the fact, but in the moment you don't want to hear it usually.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have said that. Okay. Over curls a little bit, but does line up. Interesting guard setup.
I guess you probably still have this, right? Yeah, do this. Just throw like back line weight.
So same type of shot here, trying to get to the inside.
Yep, line. Yep, line. Hard straight. Hard line.
Claire Schapman.
Hard line. Line's really tight. Hard, Francis. Hard. Hard, gotta go.
Sweepers trying to hold it.
Gotta go hard. Hard. Yes, on it. Keep it on it. Good throw. Oh, sorry.
Not too bad. Rolls to the open.
Yeah, I knew that. I was just like.
Sitting first and third.
Good throw.
Like this. Okay. I have 6/7 of it. Okay. Okay.
Could leave a tap and roll to lie too.
We can switch it if you want. Yeah. Let's get the other side. Okay. Just right to it.
Miranda Scheel, the outturn tap. See if she can move that stone back and roll in a little bit.
Where? Out there. Look. Take a look. Out there. Curl. 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 Hard. Gotta curl a ton. Gotta curl. Gotta curl hard. You got it. Hard.
Getting it to move a little bit is craft.
Anything. Yep, 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 yep.
Bounces off and sits top four. Good position there. If you're going to try to clear these, you need to catch that yellow on the button kind of thick to get it over the top again.
Yep. Hard. Hard, Jesse. Hard. Hard, you gotta go hard. Hard, Jesse.
Close. I actually needed to curl a little bit.
Yeah.
All right.
Probably would have moved your back one too, but now that yellow is just about dead welded on that red on the button.
One interesting thing I've seen with the Schapman team these last handful of shots is that I think they're close to 2 minutes, a minute and a half behind Team Scheel in time, and they've kind of, you have Claire firing out of the hack. Seems like
They
maybe
do seem to be rushing a little bit, yeah.
could maybe take another second in the hack just to focus. I know that's something that I've done as a curler too. It's easy to put it on yourself to catch up in time for the team and not really take that extra second to breathe. And
Yeah, to make up the time, you like to do that with the in-between things, not with your pre-shot routine. You know, anytime you don't go through your normal processes, then that can definitely throw you off. And they are playing pretty quick out of the hack.
Pretty good. Straight side. Straight side.
So I believe just a guard here from
Just
Bella Hagenbaugh.
always use what we have. We need to inside the 4-foot line here. Show that curl a bit. Show that a curl. Curl.
That's a good spot there. And that's the pro side guard that we were talking about earlier, Andrew. You can always finish it up. You just need to take away that side of the shot. No port there or anything. So that's well done.
Going to school a little bit from their earlier guard a handful
Yep.
of ends ago.
Teal. I have no idea what to do.
They seem to think that the guard wasn't good enough.
Yeah, I mean, that is
I
a
think
really
if we
tight
wreck,
port, and you're just clearing your own stone anyways, and then your opponent's wrapping another one around.
we can maybe.
So I think you're kind of hoping you wreck.
Just have to throw it. Yeah.
You're very likely giving up one almost no matter what happens these last few at best. Ooh, almost got your best case scenario with picking that yellow one.
I like this way. I like it split center here. Split center, yeah. Okay, perfect. This way? Yeah.
Not sure I like it, but would you ever try to get a second counter, make the freeze?
You certainly could. As long as you don't move the red stone, it's hard to hurt yourself. But if you make this guard, I mean, you're almost assuredly scoring unless Schapman makes the in off that winger, which would be for 3. So you combat the shot for 3 by making the freeze. I think if this was a game you or I were playing in, then that second counter might not be a bad idea. 'Cause you'd definitely be eyeballing that in off and what your worst case scenario is. So final stone for Bella Hagenbaugh. 7th end.
Split center here. Come right to it if you need. Really gotta curl. Gotta be right to it if we're in. Gotta get to
I'd like to
center.
see
Curl.
Chapman play that shot, so kind of hoping that this guard is made.
Hard dig over. Hard dig. Hard over. Hard push.
Yeah, the port is there. So you could fire it and lose that stone. That's a matter of
There's no risk to this.
if you
shot.
catch
And then we try to like.
the red rolling out, or you could just throw it with big weight and try to hit 4/5
Probably like right here.
and have
I
the
don't know
shooter
if
stay.
Though, you gotta be ready
There's
to
only a
take it.
tiny bit of separation. I was really hoping for that in off though.
Those two.
There's really no
Would you be
risk.
tempted to throw it anyways in this
There's no
situation, Andrew?
risk.
If this is you throwing
We're
it?
gonna try to hit it.
It's based on
No,
what you
I
have
don't think
available through the
so.
port?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think the score is really important right here. Stay in the game, especially with 3 ends left. Maybe if it was the 8th or 9th end when you're running out of time to get in a good position. But
Yep. Yep.
The final stone of the 7th, Ava Schapman trying to pick this yellow stone off.
Hard! Hard, Francis!
See how far it goes. Oh, very close. But ends up still being a steal of 1. 3rd steal in a row for Scheel. They now lead 6-4 after 7 ends of play. And USA Curling would like to take this moment to thank the curling community for supporting the sport and the national organization, whether it's through your membership, donations, or volunteer hours that help our game grow. Your support makes many of our efforts possible, whether it's the webcast coverage you're enjoying right now, the Our House content platform, certification programs for instructors and officials, or the Athlete Outreach Initiative. On behalf of USA Curling, thank you for all that you do. So 5 straight points for Team Scheel after trailing 4-1,
It's only ever Jesse.
including 3 steals. They now lead 6-4.
Yeah, it looks like it is.
Come around draw here for
It's definitely more than T.
Frances Schapman.
Hey Claire, can you come here? Okay.
Settles
that's all
in,
right. Not bad.
fighting back 4.
Claire! Come here.
Out-turn freeze attempt for May Hagenbaugh. A little ways to curl here. Rock really curling now. Kraft getting it to turn over. Yeah, pretty good sweep to get it there. Nice weight from Hagenbaugh.
Just like back 4 weight, nothing big. Kind of just like a draw.
So Schapman going right in, trying to get there 2 or 3.
Like how much?
Back line? Back line? Maybe hack?
There's nothing really you can do. Maybe just go straight to keep it off it. Yeah.
That's a
Yeah, just a little
I said just
too
back
much weight
4.
for that one.
Did I not? It's fine.
Ends up going by.
what do you like then?
Yeah, I've leaned on the wall like that many times.
If we're sitting on it, we need to sit like no. If we sit on
Trying to figure out what to say to anybody.
Yeah,
What to say to yourself.
yeah, leave me alone.
it, I like a 2-3.
I know what I did. I know. So Scheel now coming into the house again, I believe. Riley Kraft, the out-turn side.
2. 2. Whoa. Whoa. If you can. Whoa. Always curl. 2-3. Always curl. Whoa. Line's good. Line's good. We're tight. Are we here? Okay. No, right.
He's finishing up nicely on this line.
Right, let it die. Okay. Shot. Okay, that's fine.
Pretty good result.
I know.
Yeah, staggers it well. And that situation too, Andrew, with the red stone in the back of the 8-foot and your stone on the back of the button with this score, you always prefer, I don't even want to say guard, but your protecting rock to be in the house as opposed to short. It's hard to put it in a spot that helps you a lot up front.
Hard.
So I like throwing that stone in the rings.
Right.
And nice to get another counter in there and keep the angle where you're yellow in the back. It's tough to remove.
Yeah, no, I like that call.
I also don't mind chasing that with like hack.
Nice double made there by Margan. At least now it's your stone as well. Make them replace. And if you end up playing that shot again, now you're playing your own rock back, and maybe you can still set yourself up for a 2 or 3.
And Schapman's chasing right now, but they really are one good shot away getting another counter in there where you start to get a little nervous if your Team Scheel.
Yeah, we mentioned it earlier. Team Scheel's front end has done a really good job of making shots early and dictating the action, controlling the angles.
I just don't think there's any way. If you want to try it, go for it. And if you get the guard, you get the guard.
Yeah, they're looking at that
Let's just
port,
get the
which I
guard.
don't believe is there. And So they're going to play the guard instead. But you don't need to play the peel on the guard here, too, if you are. I think they're just playing the yellow one, but you could tap that red up and open that side up, make that rock a little more lonely in there, too.
We're going to get that one. That's fine. It actually works out because I was going to have you stop and I was going to call that one anyway.
That's good. I'm glad you made the shot you did because I was going to tell you to play it, but I didn't. So it works out in the end. It's probably teammate telepathy. I was going to say sister telepathy, but that's the only non-sister on the team that was throwing it.
It's a lot of positivity. I don't think I'll ever see, Mark Fenner after you do that. He wouldn't come up to me and say the same thing.
So Scheel now going on the defensive, hitting this counter in the back of the 8-foot. And rolls away, so now door open for Schapman.
Just control. No. Yeah, no, I watched it the whole way, so yeah, no, yeah. Yep, yes! Hard!
A little tight out of hand.
All right, we're peeling. Yep, keep going though. Hard, girls.
That one will be on the guard, but now only one rock in play. Stone on the back of the button. If you don't count the one that's 2 inches off the boards by the back line, which is technically in play.
More of a tripping hazard than anything.
Yeah, we don't like those stones back there. Probably not going to matter, and just something to step over. So guard from Miranda Scheel now.
Okay, who's good? Mine's really nice. Curl side, always right. Curl, curl side, curl. Split always curl, hard dig, guys.
Try to carry it to cover a piece of the stone, even if it goes in the house.
You're carrying it. Hard dig, hard, gotta go hard. Really good.
Well, they brought that a long ways to get it to where they did, but hit and roll is still there.
Set it? Okay.
And one maybe you'd like to see with the hair less weight, Andrew, you can make it with control, but just have very little margin for error as the shooter.
Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah, it's always nice to throw these shots with the border hack just to bring sweeping into play too.
That's good. You're
You
good.
make the hit, rolls away a little bit.
Okay, we're fine on time.
That is something we've seen with Schapman fairly consistently throughout the game too, is that in-between weight, the hack and board, you don't see very often when you're just trying to control the shot. They tend to go to control weight when they're playing something precise, and they're very accurate with it, but if you can't see the whole stone and you're throwing more than board, then it makes the shot a lot tougher for the person throwing the rock.
Yeah, I think we've seen them make a couple ones around the guard, but as you're saying, as you kind of play more, having the opportunity to sweep it, get away from, remember when I first started playing with Luke Violette, he used to be of the school of thought of why don't we just put the broom on the center of the rock and throw peel for the nose hit, but the sweeping factor is kind of nice.
Would have fit in well with Mike Poplinski's former teammates, Tim Somerville, Mike Schneeberger. Heard a rumor Schnee might be around this weekend at some point. They were the first I can remember in the U.S. that was their hit game style. Just put the broom where you want to hit it. You go back to the 60s and 70s, you did that because it was that straight. Didn't matter what weight you threw. These guys, with peel weight, just, put it there. That's where we're going to hit it, done.
I don't know if I'm good enough for that. I need the sweeping.
I'm not, yeah. Give me my sweepers, please.
That's what I've told Mark all off season, you need to get better at sweeping so I don't have to get better at shooting.
It's a hit and roll attempt for Ava Schapman.
Take the roll, 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 roll.
Doesn't quite get there, stays open. Rock was trying to get there.
I still like it. Or you like a 10? I still like a 10.
So one more opportunity for Bella Hagenbaugh to get the roll underneath and put some pressure on Schapman for the last shot.
I think this is good. Okay.
If this ends up nosing or rolling out, Andrew, are you still playing the blank down by 2, or are you taking the point?
I think I'm still playing the blank. I think down 1 without the hammer and 9, your win percentage is a little lower.
I think so.
You never know, with the hammer you could maybe get a 3 or a 2 and then steal the last.
We'll see if Hagenbaugh can make it a moot point by rolling in, but this one's on the outside. Sounds as though Schapman wants to take the point. So your ideal situation then is, unless you can steal more than 1, would almost be to force to 1 and then try to get your 3 afterwards. I think in the junior game they feel very comfortable trying to steal too. So Ava Schapman's final stone of the 8th, just playing a hit and stick.
Yep. 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 Whoa. Whoa. Whoa, you're good. Just clean. Just clean. Just clean.
That will be right on the nose.
One
They
red.
take their single after 8 ends. 6-5 the score. Scheel leading. May need a heroic effort in the last end or two for Schapman. Come back and win. And other heroes we've been talking about all week. Warm Room Hero. They're more than just software. They're curlers dedicated to building long-term relationships with your club. Warm Room Hero provides continuous support to ensure your website exceeds your members' expectations. Check out Warm Room Hero today at Curling. First stone of the 9th. It's right to the back of the 4-foot. So easy decision for Bella Hagenbaugh, rightly playing the hit. Sister May Hagenbaugh. Sticks around. Schapman now following with another hit, so it'll be difficult to steal without guard in play, Andrew.
I guess deciding we didn't get this set up quite like we wanted to early, so let's try it again the next end.
So this may be a very quick end. Team Scheel very happy to continue trading hits here.
One thing it will help the time. Not that it looks like to be an issue, but
Yeah, neither team in any kind of dire straits for time.
Don't look at the clock. We're just fine.
You see there, plenty of time on those clocks, especially with the hits being played.
Yeah! Yeah, guys, yeah! Whoa, whoa! Just clean. You guys are cleaning really weirdly right now.
I don't know what that means. I don't know if you can hear that, but Ava Schapman saying they're cleaning weirdly.
you get both sisters taking a half of the stone.
Are they using the knob end of the broom to do it? Just blowing in front of the rock? I think they're doing okay. Just enough contact. So now going to the guard.
Yeah, I think so.
Gonna have to hope for a missed peel to have an opportunity to use it.
She said the guard, and I don't know what she said.
A little bit of a
throwing.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, go ahead, Andrew.
It's a little bit of reversal of what we've seen with. I feel like we've had a lot of Schapman hits lately and Scheel draws, and gonna switch it up.
Sorry, guys. That was a really, really slow slide.
Whoa, I think you can go, yeah. Whoa, 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 whoa. You're good.
It's a tight guard just off the center line. Here with this situation, Andrew, they're thinking because it's so tight they can roll on, and you have to think about it if it's necessary or not. Like, what are you gaining from doing it outside of having a stone in the house that your opponent may or may not hit? I mean, if they think they're going to throw another guard, then it's a good shot. But your number one objective has to be make sure there's no guard in play. And now ends up nosing, so that's what you bring into play, playing that normal weight instead of just peeling off.
Yeah, I think the cautious person in me would say it seems that Schapman's okay with the blank, and we're obviously really happy with the blank, so let's just make sure the stone goes so they can't use it.
It's only ever curl.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that's cautious.
Yeah.
I'd say that's just
We're gliding again. We're like
the right thought process for this situation.
Whoa. I just don't think you should touch it.
Goes to the back of the 8 foot, open. And Hagenbaugh wisely rolling away from the guard in this situation. Out-turn hit from Miranda Scheel. Heads up, rolling in, so there's your opportunity now for Team Schapman.
Matt, you're not in the way. It's your rock. You're not in the way.
If they can make the freeze, does bring the steal into play, and maybe a force at worst, which would also be a good result. Either team scoring 1 right now is a better result for Schapman than a blank would be. Schrock coming up short too, but will serve as a guard.
Could see Team Scheel switch up and play the draw that Bella just mentioned. Get a little more aggressive. The double peel is still there, and
I don't mind peeling. I think they're freezing though. Do you like that? You have to come near. Yeah. Or we could just draw. I like either. My first thought was draw. We're going hard for our two then though. Okay. What's our goal? Okay, do we want to blank or do we want to score? Honestly, I'd rather score now. I don't think we're blanking. If you like scoring, let's draw. Okay. Make it good. You got it.
So we'll play the draw. So really trying to end the game here in the ninth end, playing this shot. The guards don't really set up real well for a double peel. And if you're peeling, as odd as it sounds, you'd be peeling the yellow one on top of your own, as the red guard is less dangerous in that situation. So I don't mind the draw now, just because of the way the rocks are set up.
oh yeah, it seems like you could play the double peel and make the double, but leave a guard right on the center line, and it could even be worse for you if you were to play that double. So.
Yeah, that comes deep, so the freeze still there for Schapman now. So intern side. Another opportunity for Ava Schapman.
We're just going to follow him down.
He's made a lot of clutch draws today.
How do you like the broom? You like the broom, Jesse? I don't know. I think it's okay.
First shot of the ninth, Ava Schapman. Trying to make this intern freeze.
Yup, line. Just straight.
Like maybe a little soft
Hard
on the
girl.
release.
Always straight.
How's the weight?
Okay,
Well,
I'm
always
getting
curl
pretty
then.
good. Yeah, you can curl now.
The line
Curl
looks
now.
good.
Hard gotta be here. Gotta
It's
be
all
full
about the
four.
weight.
Gotta be full four.
Gotta be full four, girls. Gotta be full four.
That line's
You got it, you
perfect.
got it.
Just
You're
needs to
doing
go.
Great. Keep going. You're making it
Go away.
really nice.
Great shot.
Far enough to get shot. Nicely done. Schapman sitting one.
Thank you.
Great shot and great sweep by the front end there.
No, there's like 3 inches. I think they're all going, but I think we still do it.
I think you want to, if you're going to run this, you want to run it to the inside of the red stone. If you run it to the outside, the shooter's going to stay there, and it could push it under both guards if it doesn't hit right.
Did you ever play anything with the outturn softer through the hole and nudge the red over a little bit?
You could get through. That's a tight port. I think I prefer this just to try to at least open this side up. Give yourself a shot on your last.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to hit maybe 7/8 on the high side to get the right action on that stone. Anything that makes contact on the inside of the red is a good result. Intern run back for Bella Hagenbaugh. That's just going to end up being a peel. Schapman looking to throw the guard.
You want it right here.
Well, I'd be awfully tempted to throw another one right on top of those two with the score where it is. You know, in a tie game, the guard absolutely, but the down by one, you're going to have to steal again, even if you get this one.
Yeah, that's more and more why I think you are right that the peel on the last one is the right shot, because it's so difficult to get a second counter in there on this one.
You're almost assuring yourself
What?
that worst case you're going to
I'd
be
rather guard
tied up
that,
with the hammer playing the last end if that
inside
guard's
probably.
gone. There just isn't a really good spot for Schapman to go in that doesn't give you a crack at it.
Oh, a little less. Yeah.
Just throwing the guard.
Over and up, over
There
and
you
up.
see that
Yeah, just over and up,
guard
over
being
and up.
thrown on a tight line again, Andrew.
Guys, over and up. Then stop.
Let it go.
Yeah, just not taking enough broom for that shot and making sure you're on the outside.
Easy on those two to, you don't want to overthrow it and you don't give the same add and extension and maybe lose some straight.
It's probably still just a draw for one. Maybe could cross that stone with back line, chip the inside and roll in, and maybe make the second one count.
I'd be okay taking a slight chance to try to score multiples, being that if you do miss, you're tied still with the hammer, but it's got to be there.
With the way they're angled, I'm not sure that you could get more than one. Even if you crossed it, if it touches the yellow, it's kicking off that way to the left.
Yeah, it looks pretty difficult.
I think they're just playing the hit and roll in. Hard to tell with where the broom is. They could try to make this a couple different ways. Final stone, ninth ends, Bella Hagenbaugh. Playing soft weight, hit and roll in. Kraft getting it to curl. Looks like it should be good. And they do get the single. So Scheel takes one. They lead 7-5 going to the 10th end. Miranda Scheel with a 7-5 lead over Ava Schapman. After 9 ends, Schapman will have hammer in the 10th. Final round robin draw for the women. Let's take a quick look at the playoff bracket here for the men. In that game 1, qualifier 1, qualifier 2 will be Aber and Senzali. On the bottom half, in the page 3-4 game, Gensel will be taking on Church. There you see the winner of 3-4 will play the loser of 1-2 in the semifinal. The winner of that game will play the original winner of the 1-2 game for the national championship. Page playoffs will be tonight at 7 o'clock for both the men and the women. One end to play, possibly, here in this final feature matchup. On the women's side, Tyler George with Andrew Stapera. Andrew, we were debating between ends whether or not you actually want to make that shot if you're Team Scheel. Maybe a preference thing if you're not looking at percentages, if you'd rather be up 2 without or tied up with. They elected to take the point and take the 2-point lead.
It's certainly more simple sometimes. Not that there's a wrong decision, but tied with the hammer, you don't have that worry about giving up a 3, and usually it's a little more straightforward with the hammer, but I think it's pretty similar win percentage-wise in general. So
that rock ends up going through. This good start to the end for Team Schapman now with no danger stones that you have to move around. Corner guard up on one side, going to the opposite side too.
Line's pretty tight, guys. Where are we at? All right, are you over? No. All right. Yeah, I think it's over enough, probably. You can keep going a little bit. Or no, just don't. Yeah. Maybe
2
try to
corners
pull it
up.
out right now.
So Schapman has their guards.
That's fine.
So Scheel now playing to the center, which may take the draw paths away to the corners a little bit. Riley Kraft, her first here in the 10th. Like to get this as tight as they can.
I think tight to the rings isn't too bad. If you're in, they can hit and roll on behind the corner, whereas now you can draw, but that center guard is still there in case Team Scheel needs it later in the end.
Yeah, it could be your out if you're Team Scheel. Obviously, you're still playing defense with this 2-point lead, but not able to peel yet on that shot. So Schapman having Jesse Margan go under the corner guard.
All right, line is tight. How's the weight? Where?
Weight felt pretty good.
3?
Hard to get it by.
Whoa, you're not by, I don't think. Or maybe you are, I don't know, yeah, sure, I don't know. Sorry, I was confused.
Just ends up a little bit short, now blocks off that port.
You guys sweep too much, but
Seedings are set for the women's playoffs now.
yeah.
The 1-2 game will be Giroux taking on Johnson.
Sorry, guys.
And 3-4 Pekowitz will take on Schapman. Again, those games 7 p.m. this evening, Central Time. All games will be streamed with one feature, just as we've had in the round robin. Nice peel there from Riley Kraft. There you see those brackets. Giroux, by virtue of a win in the final round robin game over Johnson, will be the 1 seed. Pekowitz will be the 3 regardless of the result in this game, taking on Schapman. 7 o'clock tonight for those playoff games. So it looks like Andrew Schapman going out wide to go around these guards.
Okay, line's fine.
This might be a tricky shot on the straight side.
Yeah, not a draw that we've seen yet out this far, so a bit of a guess.
Well, it looks okay, guys. Actually, yeah.
Looks like they're trying to finish for line and for speed. Trying to get it to the 8-foot. And
Good
got
throw.
shot rock out of it. Nice guess there.
Really good shot.
Very good shot from Margan.
Certainly made that look a lot easier than it actually is.
Scheel now peeling this guard, trying to open side up. Good shot from Miranda Scheel. So number one counter open.
Yeah, I do. I think so.
Playing the in-turn draw around. Just have to be careful with the placement now on this shot. With that red will be right next to the other counter. You don't want to leave a double.
Well, it's always still T. Are we just T top 4? Oh, guys, let's win. Back heat. I would go straight. Oh, straight anymore. Yeah, no, you can't wait. I don't know.
That goes right by to a biter in the back of the 12-foot.
Right.
Yeah, they're lining up the double, but Andrew, don't really need to play to that back stone if you're giving up the 4-foot.
Be real tempting to roll to the button here.
Yeah, rolling in, you really take control of this end. I think they changed their minds now and are playing a roll in. So 10-5 the call on the weight. Scheel trying to roll middle. Looked like that might have been babied a little bit on the release, huh?
Heard them say they're taking minimum ice on this straight spot.
Ooh, goes by. Just didn't quite get out to the stick there. Even with that straight line, still got to get to the target.
Which way do you think we come?
Well, I like the out turn here coming around the other side to the center.
This way? Okay.
That would be your shot.
If you're down to the backing, it's okay.
Good call there by Schapman. Spreading these counters out a little bit. You kind of have to just assume that that red stone in the side of the 8-foot is dead. You got to try to score 3 either with your last 3 throws or somehow make that biter in the back count.
Back 8.
If you guard, your opponent goes underneath, so you really don't have much choice but to play this shot.
Yeah, they can go. Hard gotta be there. Hard gotta go.
Trying to finish for weight and line.
Hard. Try to get it partially buried. Keep going, keep going,
Just
keep
you,
going.
just you.
Okay, that's fine.
That's
not
okay.
Bad. That's pretty good.
This will be another attempt at that hit and roll.
Great sweep to get that edge to edge to make it so if you do play a hit on it, the jam is in play.
Mm. So hit and roll attempt. Bella Hagenbaugh. Don't want to roll too far here either, Andrew. If you roll all the way close to the center line, they have that short run-in with the red. Just side 4s, I think, would be your ideal roll. Doesn't quite get there. So red's still sitting 1.
Probably at max. I think half probably the weight.
Even if you get to nose with this shot, it's probably good enough because it's very likely that Scheel's chasing the one on the opposite side anyways. Whichever one's open, you just don't want to leave a roll in. So nose or an inside roll would be good. And here's the weights we were talking about earlier. You really have to play hack to make this shot. So we see what kind of weight control Schapman has here. Hear the buzz in the audience. The building is jam-packed with people right now. There's a men's practice coming up right after this game.
Yep. Well, yep.
It's a hack weight attempt here
Hard girl.
from Schapman.
Hard girl.
Sweeper's trying to hold it. Very close on the line. Oh, gets by. Great shot. Can they get it out, too? Oh,
Really
that's
good.
just perfect. What a shot by Ava Schapman.
Really great shot. Thank you.
Great sweep from her sisters. That's perfectly done. Timeout being called. Minute 36 remaining for Scheel, so with the timeout and the time left on their clock, shouldn't be too much of a rush.
This gets really interesting because you could just get rid of that red and concede the 2, but is there ever a shot for 3 if you do that?
I think there is. This is very dangerous. You need to stick around playing this too. If you hit it through the hole, the shooter rolls out, there is a tap for 3 for the win. If you clip the back red playing this shot, that's your ideal situation, just making that double. There really isn't a good spot to hit it otherwise.
No, definitely not a lot of room for error on this one.
Very delicate shot here for Bella Hagenbaugh. A little more than half you have to hit. Can't throw it too hard. Her final stone here in the 10th. Early sweep on this one too. This is curling. Trying to get to the inside. Oh, that's really good. Actually got close enough to the guard to not lose their own yellow.
This is the shot.
There is a shot for 3 still. If that red is biting, slashing the yellow over the top of the other yellow.
You might be able even be able to get it the thick way and save the shooter and just move it back a little bit.
Yeah, I think there's 2 ways you can hit that to make it.
I can get it. I'm still just in case.
Would love to see a timeout here. They have one left. I think Coach Ross, yep, there we go. There's the timeout. Ross Littman come out to talk about this one. They are lining up that double. I think you're right too, Andrew. I think it is there the thick way.
Well, actually, no, it might not be there. I think you got James.
I'm sure Ross will tell him, yep, we're playing for the win right here.
I think, you know, the implications of this game aren't massive. I think you give it a whirl.
Absolutely, yeah. Play for the win right now.
I think I'm pretty sure it jams, but I'm pretty sure that would still be out counting the yellow even if it jams. But it just depends on.
Yeah. No, if we do.
I mean, if you slash.
And you know you can make it with the slash.
Do you think? Yeah, what do you guys think? Like, do you want to go for it now or do you want to just draw?
I mean,
I'm just thinking because I missed a hit like this earlier. I feel like
you want to redeem yourself?
Because it's just there.
Go ahead and make it.
It stays there.
There you go. Line it up.
Aggressive. That's really aggressive.
I mean, why not?
I don't think I love it, but I don't know what I love.
I mean, even if you accidentally, if you overcurl hit nose, we still get 2, right? So
We just can't. We just have to make sure we stick it.
Got to throw it pretty quick.
This feels so much more like, but this is so not me.
She's a little frazzled right now. You got to remember, too, win or lose this game
you're
changes
right. I gotta
nothing.
make a choice
Just play it.
and go with it.
do you want to? Okay.
There you go. Atta girl. Just make it. And as you play more too, Andrew, and you see these situations and percentages more, they'll realize that you have the shot to win right now. Even if this was for the national championship, this is the shot you play. Drawing for 2 to tie it up, you're still going to have to steal in the extra end. You have it in your hand right now to win the game. It's absolutely the right shot to play. Just need to hit a butt. 3/4, 2/3. Final stone. 10th end.
Yep. Whoa. Whoa.
Very close. Just needs to get up a little bit. Really close. Oh, just papers by. Almost made it.
Curling.
That will be a 7-6 final. Scheel gets the win. Great shot by Bella Hagenbaugh to give them that chance to win. Andrew, back and forth affair. It's now for Team Schapman, just have to regroup and get ready for the playoffs.
Yeah, I think they had a well-played game. Just a couple missed shots here and there, but take a couple hours off and get ready for a fight tonight.
So they will have a practice in the afternoon to get themselves ready, I believe. But tonight's Page playoffs for the men and the women, both. 7 p.m. tonight, we will be back here to broadcast all 4 games. For Tyler George, Andrew Stapera, Curling Stadium crew, thanks for watching. We'll see you for the playoffs tonight.